Are you a family caregiver? Are you caregiving for someone who can no longer take care of themselves? Are you overwhelmed? This is Caregiver Solutions Info with Marcia Teele. Marcia will be hosting an hour of true stories and information, tips and updates of the latest research and necessary information in the caregiving field, focusing on you, the family caregiver. An Alzheimer's disease and dementia care expert, Marcia has 15 years of hands-on experience at Arden Courts, a leader in assisted living dementia communities here in the U.S. Marcia covers everything you need to know as a family caregiver, especially if you care for a loved one with Alzheimer's disease or other related dementia or chronic illness. If you have a friend or relative that is also a family caregiver, call them now. They won't want to miss a minute. And let them know they can watch on caregiversolutions.info. And they can listen on WNN 1470 AM in South Florida or nationally on the iHeartRadio app. Now, sit back, relax, and learn from our host, Marcia Teele, as she brings information to you that may just be the caregiving solution you need.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Caregiver Solutions Info. I'm so glad that you could join us this evening, and we have another wonderful show for you. We are live from Boca Raton, Florida, and this is the show just for you, the family caregiver, or for others that might be related to a family caregiver, so you can learn more about caregiving if you're caring for someone with dementia, Alzheimer's. It's not easy. Matter of fact, it's probably the hardest thing that you'll ever do. And you're not prepared, because who would be prepared for that? We don't know what's coming down the road for any of us, and sometimes we're just thrust into that role. And so this show was created as a resource, and we hope by listening to other caregivers on the show, by listening to other professionals such as elder law attorneys, social workers, geriatric care managers, psychiatrists, we have a great show for you, because these people have been there and been in the field helping caregivers for a long time. And it's new to you, but we want to bring those resources right to you in your own home, on the radio, in your car, or right on your computer. So thank you again for joining us. Before we get started with our guest today, I'd like to give you an update on the latest research on brain boosters. Now, we've done a lot of brain boosters over the last year and a half that the show has been on, and there's a latest update that I'd like to share some of these things with you, that if you're someone who is afraid that your brain might be deteriorating, or you're afraid that maybe dementia is in your future and you want to keep your brain healthy and strong, there are things that researchers and doctors say that you certainly can do, and they're not really hard things to do, that can help promote brain health. So we're going to go over some of these today, and if there's some that you know, maybe it'll remind you to do them, and maybe there'll be a few of them that you don't know. So according to this professor, his name is Peter Snyder, professor of neurology at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island, he says there's something you can do right now to help improve your brain health. And it's very simple, and it's one step, which is get moving. He says starting moderate aerobic exercise at any age will absolutely help protect brain health. And this means going for a walk, a brisk walk, 30 minutes, 3 times a week. And in 6 months, this will lead to growth of the brain cells and their connections in the part of the brain that are critically important for learning and memory. So why wouldn't we all want to do that? It's good for us. It's good for our mood. It's good for our health. It's good for our weight and keeping our weight in check. And it improves our brain. So these are things that are simple to do. We just have to find time in our busy schedules to do them. The next one is don't skip on the D. And they're talking about, of course, vitamin D, because the vitamin protects against the neuron loss that can cause cognitive decline, according to a new Duke University Medical School study. Adults need between 600 and 800 international units of vitamin D per day. So there's different ways we can get vitamin D. We can take the supplement, we can get some sunshine, a lot of milk products, but don't skip on that because it's very important. Trust your instincts. Now, this is one that we probably all experienced at one time, probably in high school when we were taking tests, because it says the longer you mull over a decision, the more likely you are to choose the wrong option, according to Columbia University researchers. So what they say to do is write down a simple summary of the choices you have to pick from, and then list a few pros and cons for each. And then you should quickly see the right decision. If you act on it, they say you'll be satisfied. So remember in school when we thought, yeah, that's the right answer, and we circled in the bubble of the standardized test, and then we went back and maybe we second guessed ourselves and we changed the answer and we changed it to a wrong answer. So they're saying trust your instincts and go with that first answer because most times it's right. Next, speed read the right way. A lot of people are into speed reading, but it says what you really want to focus on is the reading comprehension, because that is what increases the brain's reading speed over time. In order to improve your comprehension, choose reading materials on a wide variety of topics that interest you. Now, this is something, too, that I've promoted in educational talks out in the public because people want to improve their brain activity, and they do a lot of crossword puzzles or different jumbo circle words. But if you're good at it and you know how to do it and you pick up on it right away, that's not going to really help your brain because it's easy for you. What you want to do is focus on something that's not so easy, and that's going to direct your attention. And as a matter of fact, it's going to exercise your brain. So for instance, if you read the newspaper, and if you're a guy, maybe you read the sports first and the front page, and maybe you kind of don't look at the rest of it. But what we want to do is we want to focus on some of the pages and some of the sections in the newspaper that